Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm excited to tell you all a little more about the American Cancer Society and what we do with our Making Strides Against Breast Cancer walks throughout our division and right here in Memphis. And as you all know, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Like we heard from Baptist earlier, everybody's doing stuff to promote breast cancer awareness, and everybody's in pink. And in a perfect world, I would hope that everybody would know what Making Strides was and maybe have even attended the walk. But I realize that many of you here today may not know about it and may have never had the chance to go. So I wanted to take a few minutes first to introduce you to the event a little bit and tell you more about what the event stands for, and then talk with you a little bit about our promotional campaign and what the American Cancer Society does to ensure that our events are successful fundraisers. You can go to the next one. Just to give you a little background, Making Strides Against Breast Cancer is the American Cancer Society's premier event to fight breast cancer. Making Strides is more than just the name of the walk. It is as unique and as special as the stories that motivate our dedicated walkers, donors, and volunteers. It is a powerful and inspiring event that celebrates those who have battled breast cancer, educates people about ways to reduce their risk, and empowers communities to join the fight. Making Strides began in 1993 in Boston and New Hampshire. And since then, nearly 7 million walkers have raised over $400 million through the event for the fight against breast cancer. And last year alone, over 800,000 walkers across the country raised $60 million. And right here in Memphis last year, 4,000 walkers raised $175,000. And all that money is used for breast cancer research, for our patient support programs like Reach to Recovery and Road to Recovery, and to fund our Hope Lodges like you'll have here in Memphis that provide places for cancer patients to stay free of charge while they're going through treatments. So obviously, the community of Memphis does a wonderful job with their strides, but we're real excited about this year's event. We have big plans to make it even bigger and better than last year. And just so you all know, the Memphis Making Strides will actually take place this Saturday, October 15th, at the Laurelwood Shopping Center. So I encourage all of you to come out and see what it's all about and get involved and learn a little more about the event. It's really something great that I know you won't want to miss. There are informational wall papers at all of your seats. We placed them there today. They'll tell you a little more about the event, and if you do want to come out on Saturday, you can just fill out that form and bring it with you, and that'll be your registration. There's no registration fee. Or if you'd like to, you can go online to makingstridesmemphis.org and register. Like Stephanie said, the American Cancer Society hosts over 250 events nationwide, with 3 events held here in Tennessee, which is Memphis, Knoxville, and Nashville. The Knoxville walk was held earlier in the month, but Memphis and Nashville are both this weekend. So we know it'll be a big weekend for us across the state of Tennessee with Making Strides events. Each event varies in distance, but most of them are either 5Ks, which is 3-mile, or 5-mile walks. They're non-competitive awareness walks with team or individual fundraising, strongly encouraged. And the focus of every Making Strides event is to celebrate survivorship and recognize those who have lost their battle against the disease. It's a very motivational, inspirational event that everyone should have the chance to experience. And just to, you can go to the next one. Just to give you a few details on the importance of these walks, you can see the numbers of breast cancer cases this year in the United States. Over 232,000 people will be diagnosed with breast cancer, and over 40,000 of those people will die from the disease. That just shows why it's so important that we continue to fund these walks and to hold these walks and fight for those people that are currently battling breast cancer. To just give you a little more insight into what those events are like, I'm going to show a little video from the Nashville Strides event last year that really shows how inspirational the event can be and really shows help you to gain perspective for why we continue to work so hard in this fight.
My name is Natalie and I'm 35.
My name is Kathryn and I'm 44. I'm Jennifer and I'm 26 years old. And 3 months ago I was diagnosed with DCIS, which is stage 0 breast cancer. So I'm very lucky that we caught it at my age at all and that we caught it so early. I did not do the event last year, and I'm so glad to be here this year and every year from now on.
I have a cousin that died this year of cancer. My name is Cindy and I'm 56 years old.
You just decide it's time to do something.
My grandmother died of cancer.
My sister is a breast cancer survivor.
My name is Martha Irwin, and I had 3 cancer episodes, and I am here today because of early detection. I wanted to be involved in this event today because I want to be a part of a great event that will help us find a cure for other people so that they don't have to go through what I have been through.
I do have a history of breast cancer in my family.
My sister was diagnosed last week. My name is Lucy.
My name is Cindy.
I'm walking today because I'm a cancer survivor, and so is my husband.
I want us to find a cure, and today is not soon enough.
We walk every year in their honor.
My sister is a cancer survivor.
I have battled cancer, and so have many of my friends.
My best friend was diagnosed 3 years ago.
I'm walking for my aunt.
I'm here today because cancer runs in my family, among the men and the women.
My name is Linda Allen. I'm 48 years old, diagnosed just a few months ago with breast cancer in my left breast, and currently going through treatment, hoping for a cure. Now I really felt like it was important to come out and do something, even though I'm tired from chemo. I really felt like it was important for me to be here.
My team raised $4,000.
Decided it's time to do something.
Almost $800.
I'm walking for my mom.
Our company raised
Almost
$16,000.
$800. We raised over $1,100.
We raised more than $7,000.
It's time to do something.
I'm Ted Helm, the president of the American Cancer Society here in Nashville. I've been involved with the American Cancer Society for the last 4 or 5 years because I've been personally touched. My wife is a survivor, and I'm just determined to make sure that we don't have to deal with this with my daughters-in-law, and my granddaughters.
I lost my daughter to cancer.
You just decide it's time to do something.
My sister is a
My
cancer
grandmother died
survivor.
of
My
cancer.
sister is a
My mother is a breast
I am a cancer survivor.
My mother's a survivor. I think it's really important that you get out and volunteer.
This is an important
My
event.
name is Cindy.
I'm walking today because I'm a cancer
I
survivor.
want us to find a cure.
I'm Karen.
Today is not soon enough.
I walk every year.
Cancer runs in my
We
family.
will find a cure.
We will not give up hope.
Join us. Make a difference. Make history. Make strides.
I think that video is just really cool. I think it really shows what the walk is like and what we're trying to accomplish and all the people that breast cancer affects and who we're trying to walk for. So I hope you all enjoyed that. And again, I hope you will come out this Saturday to Laurelwood and get involved in Memphis Making Strides Walk. So I want to talk a little bit about just how the American Cancer Society continues to grow and expand these 250 events nationwide, and how do we continue to stand out in an increasingly pink world, especially in the month of October when there seems to be some kind of breast cancer fundraiser or event pretty much every day of the month. The promotional campaign for Making Strides, as with many promotional campaigns for nonprofit fundraisers, consist of multiple complex levels. It's not one-dimensional. It is not one-dimensional. I think if it was, it wouldn't be successful. I think that's the definition. There are many intricate layers of the campaign. It's multi-level, multi-dimensional effort to promote a cause. There are several aspects that come together as pieces of the puzzle to create this campaign, to create awareness and create a connection within the community to the Making Strides event. Several key components that I think are necessary for the successful promotion of a Making Strides event include volunteer recruitment and engagement, implementation of a successful kickoff breakfast, media outreach and media relations, of course, non-traditional marketing efforts, and post-event communication. I'm just going to go through each of those briefly and kind of tell y'all how we at the American Cancer Society work in each of these areas. The first aspect is volunteer recruitment and engagement, and you might say that that's not really part of a promotional campaign as far as typical PR efforts. But I strongly believe that it's necessary to have great volunteers in place and a great volunteer base to have a successful PR campaign and create a successful event. Bottom line, the more people you have involved, the more people who are talking about your event and getting others involved as well. And as a nonprofit organization, we rely heavily on our volunteers. And at the American Cancer Society, we have amazing volunteers here in Memphis and all over the Mid-South Division that do wonderful work for us that we would not be as successful as we are without them. They step in and assist with every aspect of an event, from the event planning to the promotions campaign, every aspect. And so as far as the PR campaign, we usually look to people like yourselves who are experienced in the PR world, marketing, advertising, to help us with to step in and become our community promotions chairs for the event. And actually this year in our largest Four Strides market, this is just kind of a side note, but it applies to this market. So we realize that these events are very large and very intensive, and the media market in those areas are very large. So we contract out PR assistants from agencies or freelance workers as well as volunteers. And that's how Stephanie and I have been working together so closely. She's been our PR assistant in this market this year and has done wonderful things and secured wonderful promotion for us. So that being said, once our agency or volunteers secured, we work with them to train them and educate them about making strides, because I think it's important that whoever is involved in those promotional efforts is really an expert on the event and the ins and outs of how it works, so that when they're out promoting it, they know all the answers to any questions they may get. I work to provide materials and resources for these individuals and ensure that they are prepared and have all the necessary tools and information they need to carry out the promotional campaign. And we provide continued communication and direction for them throughout the campaign so that they can basically take what myself and the Strides event manager have decided needs to happen as far as promotion, and they can execute it and carry it out themselves. They can kind of make it their own, which makes them much more bought into the event and makes them have a tie into that event and have a piece of the event. I also think volunteers are always beneficial because they bring a new perspective and fresh ideas to our PR efforts. Sometimes we can't see we're on one side of the event and the organization, and sometimes we can't see everything that needs to happen for the event. And I think volunteers are very important to bring those new ideas and help to identify activities that may be utilized that can help the promotional plan that we may not have thought of before. And like I said, they always bring their PR expertise and their own personal contacts into the mix, which always helps and just enlarges the scope of our promotions from the number of people that are involved. So we work, I work at the Cancer Society, we work to continually engage these volunteers and allow them to take ownership of these events so that they feel like it's really something that they have a piece of. So once we secured our volunteer, our agency, and have them in place and have trained them, we turn our focus to kind of the second aspect of our promotional campaign, which is what we call the kickoff breakfast. And I think this is something that we do that's kind of different from some events that helps our walk. I think it's different from some other breast cancer walks or breast cancer events, and we utilize this kickoff event prior to the actual walk excuse me, to increase awareness and event participation as well as bottom line fundraising. The breakfast is seen from a development perspective as a tool to increase fundraising efforts, but I really believe it's also a great tool to promote our important part of our promotional campaign. Each Strides event holds the kickoff breakfast 2 months prior to the walk, which is typically early August. And the purpose of this breakfast is to invite businesses, organizations, past participants, and individuals throughout the community to attend the event, educate them about the walk, and encourage them to go back to their business, organization, family, friends, church, whatever group they're involved in, and form a team and fundraise for the event. Each breakfast follows a similar format. They're about an hour in length. They're in the morning time, obviously, it's a breakfast. And they all have several specific keynote speakers. And I'll just go through those real quick. The first is an MC, which is typically a representative from our media sponsor, our TV or radio sponsor. Then we have a survivor speaker who I think is the most important speaker that day. And they share their story, share their experience with breast cancer, and they really put a face with the cause and a face with why the people in the audience need to support this event to help people like that survivor speaker. And they give the people a reason to get others involved and motivate those people in attendance to support the event. And then we'll also have a medical speaker, which is usually a physician or a researcher, who talks about the importance of early detection and prevention and recent advancements in breast cancer diagnosis and treatment options. And this year at the Memphis breakfast, we actually had one of our American Cancer Society funded researchers speak at the breakfast, which was a really cool thing because it showed the audience, this is what the money raised at our walk at Making Strides. It comes right back to this market, and it helps to fund this researcher who she might she might be the one who discovers the cure. And because of what we did at Making Strides, we were able to fund her work. So I thought that was a really cool aspect of this year's breakfast. Then we also have an American Cancer Society staff representative who presents the attendees with some tools and information for them to leave the breakfast and go out and start a team and become a successful team leader. The hopes of holding this breakfast is to engage the community so that people will leave empowered to go out and act as our promoters, basically talking about the walk, getting others involved, getting their companies involved, and really helping to promote the event throughout the community through word of mouth. And like I said earlier, I think this component really makes Making Strides stand out from other events, and it helps to create a connection between the American Cancer Society and what we do within the community. Go to the next slide. The next component is our media outreach and media relations, which includes our media sponsorships. People often wonder, as far as nonprofits go, how they implement successful advertising campaigns without a budget, which it can be very hard, but it's really the result, I think, of great media relationships and media relations and working with the media in your community to promote your events and really give them what they need. I think it's important to know your media, know what they want, what they need, what they don't want, how they want to be communicated to. It's just really important to get to know them and create that relationship. There's amazing earned media potential for our organization when we work to make it personal and show how our story can connect their viewer, reader, listener, or whoever to our event. That in turn will boost their ratings and boost their viewership, and they'll want to come back and to support us more. That's one thing that we really try to work on, especially with Making Strides, to tell a really amazing story to the media. Making Strides is not always a newsworthy event, just the walk itself, because it's just like every other event. It happens every year. There's tons of other stuff happening every Saturday in the fall. So we want to give them a reason to really promote our event and really focus on our event. And to do that, we have to tell them that amazing story, tell them a personal story, and put a face with the cause and with the event. And just to go quickly over, in each market we do secure TV and radio media sponsors. We usually don't secure print media sponsors just due to the nature of the campaign. We really want to have, we want to be listed in every print outlet there is, and want to be, we want to utilize all the print outlets to our benefit. So we usually don't secure print sponsors, but our TV and radio sponsorships are very important to us to validate our walkers and our participants and increase the initial recruitment outreach that takes place in the summer months before the kickoff breakfast. And our radio sponsors will run our typical PSA schedule starting after the breakfast until the walk date, and then allow for on-air interviews leading up to the event. And our TV sponsors will also provide will run our PSAs for us. They'll provide interview time on the morning or midday newscasts, and usually provide website coverage for us. Sorry, something's in my throat. As far as our TV sponsorships, that's one thing that we really try to get the most out of. We really try to work with them, and like I said, provide them with those really personal, touching stories that they may not be able to find if it weren't for us, and that in turn helps them to increase their viewership and increase their buy-in from people in the community that are watching them, and that will in turn make our relationship with that media outlet better, and encourage them to come back next year and to support us again. And those personal stories are the ones that really get the people to your walk. I mean, there's tons of stuff that somebody could do on a Saturday in October, and there's lots of other breast cancer walks and lots of other efforts that people can donate to. So we really want to give a personal reason and connect that event to people so that they will want to come to our Making Strides Against Breast Cancer walk. This is just quickly what media will do for our event. It'll help to create awareness during the recruitment phase, educate the target audience about the issues, which is another, Making Strides by itself is really an awareness walk. We want to make sure everybody in the community understands about breast cancer and understands about their risk and understands when to go get their mammograms and to talk with their loved ones about their mammograms. So we really work to educate everyone about the issues, and also motivate others to get involved and validate volunteer participation. The next aspect is social media, non-traditional marketing. And I'm sure all of you are aware to create a very successful PR campaign, you have to reach way beyond the constraints of traditional media nowadays. In today's world of Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, the need for constant new and unique information, at the American Cancer Society, we had to adapt to this changing world, and we had to bring our volunteers with us into this world, which sometimes is a task to get people to buy into change. So now more than ever, it's important that making strides stands out in this world, because in this increasingly pink world, and we have to continue to look to new avenues for promotion and utilize this new social media that's become so popular. Social media is changing the way that marketers communicate with their customers and how their customers communicate with each other. We had to realize this and change to adapt it. We have to understand who our audience is and how they are using social media, if they are using social media, and how we can successfully promote ourselves through that avenue. And with Strides, it's kind of hard because we want to reach the whole age range, the young people who are using social media, and we also want to reach the other populations who may not, utilize computers as much, who may not be online. So we have to make sure that we reach every outlet to reach all of our audiences. But for most of our, you can go to the next one. Most of our events do use a Facebook page. You can see why. There's over 149 million active Facebook users. So we just thought that was too many people to not reach through Facebook. So most of our events do utilize a Facebook page. I don't think that most of them utilize Twitter. As far as from our perspective, from the Cancer Society, that's not to say that volunteers don't create their own Twitter page and talk about what they're doing for Strides, or if a survivor doesn't create their own page and tweet about what they're doing for fundraising. But just a couple examples of how we use Facebook that I think are cool and kind of different for our specific event. We obviously use it to list event details and date, time, location, those specific details. We also update our Facebook on our event pages. We can update our Facebook status with breast cancer information, guidelines about getting your mammogram, other important information about screening guidelines. And we also use Facebook to talk about all the programs and services the American Cancer Society offers. I think that's one really good aspect of Facebook, is we can put information for people who are facing a diagnosis or whose loved one is facing a diagnosis with information about where to turn. Because we offer so much at the American Cancer Society, it's hard to list it all. So that's one other outlet that we can just disseminate that information to a whole new group of people. Also, for Making Strides, we like to make Facebook interactive. We recognize new teams that have signed up online that day, and we can put a link to their fundraising website and say, hey, go, this team, Joe Smith and his Walker signed up today. Go to their fundraising page and donate to them, and that kind of makes them feel special and feel good about signing up and participating, and lets everybody that they know that they're helping out. We've also done things like update our status to ask everybody to like the status if they've had their mammogram this year, which is something that is cool to see how many people will like it, and hopefully somebody will see that and think, oh, I haven't done that this year, I probably need to schedule that. It just brings awareness in a new way. We also get people to talk about what fundraising efforts they're doing. You can talk about their team fundraisers, as well as other like feeder events that the American Cancer Society is having for the Strides Walk. And one example of this that we did in Memphis, that we just did a couple weeks ago, was we had a pre-event awareness event at Laurelwood, and we had Kicks 106 out there providing a radio remote. We had all kinds of different things. All the stores were doing like fundraisers, promotional sales. There was the Pavo Salon there was doing pink hair extensions. There was a guy out there grilling hot dogs. It was just a really cool event, and we talked about it on Facebook, and that actually probably would have been where we could have used Twitter, but we talked about it on Facebook, and people just knew about it, and they saw pictures afterwards, and so it was very interactive, and it showed how we were working in this market to do different things to promote our event. So we thought it was really cool to be able to talk about it through Facebook. Some other things you could do on Facebook that we like to do are post survivor highlights once a week, profile a local survivor, and give their story about breast cancer and how they're giving back. And again, that just makes the personal connection between our event and the community and people living in this community and how they're involved. On the Memphis Facebook page, we also have done a really good job of posting links to websites for TV interviews, for any print coverage that we've received. So you can go to that Facebook page and really see everything that we've got for this event and what's been going on and different survivors that we've profiled in our media stories leading up to the event. The next couple slides, I think, are talking about kind of how we do our non-traditional marketing. And obviously from those two pictures, not everything has to be huge, big blowout events, just something that gets people talking. Obviously we like to put pink bows everywhere during the month of October. A lot of local bakeries in some of our Strides markets will sell pink ribbon cookies or pink cupcakes or do some kind of fundraiser for us. And then this is something they do in the Louisville, Kentucky market where they get flocked by the pink flamingos that y'all are probably familiar with. When I think it's 50, you turn, then some age you turn, people put pink flamingos in your yard, but they do it for Strides in the month of October too, and it just, it gets people talking, what is that? Why are y'all doing that? What is this for? And that's just something that I think is important, again, to stand out in October and stand out among all the other breast cancer events. And this is another thing, they do this in a lot of different markets. I don't know if you can tell in that top picture, but that's all people dressed in pink. It's called a Living Ribbon of Hope, and we do this in a lot of markets just to create kind of a media event and ask media to come and cover it because, like I said, making Strides, just the event, is not always newsworthy, and so sometimes you have to create something to get the media to come and to cover. And that's a great way to get, all of our survivors out there, get them to come out in pink and, just something special for them to honor and recognize them. So basically, creating buzz for your event is just, we do anything that can get people talking about the event, not only social media, but also grassroots marketing. Oh, and this is our billboards that we have. That one's in Denver, Colorado, but most of them look like that. Just so anything that can create buzz is something that can be beneficial for your event. And I think those are, grassroots marketing and word of mouth are two of our best tools to market our event and get people talking about it. And that was one of the things we did with the radio remote at Laurelwood. It was just, it got people talking, people that were shopping that may have never heard of Making Strides. They may have not even known that Breast Cancer Awareness Month was in October. I don't know how they wouldn't have, but some people don't. And if they were there that day, they had to have known. They had to have seen all the pink balloons, the pink hair extensions. The pink hair extensions I think are really cool because not only do most of the salons that do that for us donate the proceeds back to us, but it gets people talking because somebody's got a pink thing in their hair and somebody comes up and says, what's that for? And then they talk about, well, I did this for Making Strides for Breast Cancer Awareness. You should come out and walk with me. And it's just another way to promote our event in a different way than through a typical TV commercial. So all those kinds of events are really important to just make our Making Strides stand out. And they're engaging because it provides a memory and something tangible for somebody to take with them, especially an event that they can actually attend. One other thing that we do in most of our markets are called hot pink communities, where we go out and try to basically paint the town pink. And this is where a really great team of volunteers comes into play because it's important that we provide these tools to these volunteers and they go out into the community and ask businesses to decorate their storefronts, paint their windows, hang pink bows, anything that will draw attention and get someone to say, what is that? Why are you doing that? What is Making Strides? And it just gets people talking more and more and makes our event more top of mind. And I talked about the pink hair extensions. And the last aspect of the promotional campaign that I think is important, that's not always typical in a campaign, is post-event communication and year-round engagement. And we do this, I think we do this very well at the Cancer Society. We plan for success after the event because, like I said, the walk, you plan and plan and plan, and then the walk happens, and you can't just stop after that. We try to think of it as a continuous strategy and try to engage our volunteers and our participants and our sponsors and enhance our organization's visibility and donor engagement. And we want to continue that dialogue too with the community to inform them about what they care about, because obviously people who come out and participate and donate to the walk, they they care about the fight against breast cancer, and we want to keep them engaged, and we want them to know that what they donated to and what they participated in is something that we use our funds well to help breast cancer survivors in our market. So, at the American Cancer Society, when we set out to begin the promotional campaign for Making Strides, Not only are we trying to create a successful fundraising event in the short run, but in the long run, we're trying to create a brand. We're trying to create a strong bond between the walkers, the participants, the donors, the media at these events so that they become advocates for the American Cancer Society and our mission to save lives and create a world with more birthdays. Breast cancer survivors are an amazing group of individuals. I don't know if y'all know any, but they're highly motivated and extremely passionate about the cause, and they're amazing people to get involved. We want our promotional campaign to show that our event, Making Strides Against Breast Cancer, is an avenue for them to channel that dedication and that fight so that they can help make a difference. So it goes beyond having a successful event. A good promotional campaign for Making Strides can create a personal connection with those who attend. And if you create an enjoyable experience, those attendees will become engaged on a deeper level, and the event will become more important to them, and they'll become our best promoter, and our job of creating the PR campaign will become a lot easier. So through all those aspects that I talked about, volunteer recruitment, the breakfast, media relations, creative and effective grassroots marketing efforts, the goal of our promotional plan is to create a clear connection between the American Cancer Society and our mission and the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk. And if we can tell a story with our campaign and create a personal connection and make it relevant to the people in the Memphis market, then we'll be successful, and then our walk will in turn be successful. And we'll hopefully one day find a cure for breast cancer. So thank you all. Do you have any questions? Mm-hmm.
I know we have the Komen Walk. There's so many walks
Yes.
for breast cancer in the month of October. Do you find that it's helpful to have these other walks that brings more awareness to breast cancer? Do you think you're getting some of the same walkers, or do you think you find yourself competing to get walkers from that event?
I think it's a little bit of everything. I think it's helpful that people are already aware in October of breast cancer and awareness, and they want to do something to give back. And, you know, sometimes somebody might see something for a different breast cancer walk and relate it to us and still come to us, or vice versa. They might see something for us and go to a different walk. So, and obviously, I mean, we're competing as far as nonprofits, but we're all in the same fight to you know, find a cure. So, it's good and bad, and I think it's a little bit of everything sometimes. And in some markets, we have people that show up at a different breast cancer walk, and they thought it was ours, and they fundraised for us, and they came to the breakfast, and they go to another event, and they're just confused. Or, you know, vice versa, people come to ours and think it's something else. So, you know, it's a little bit of everything. I think sometimes it helps us, and sometimes it hurts us. So, yeah, so that's one, you know, why we try to stand out and make it very clear who we are. Thank you. Any other questions? Well, like I said, I hope you all can go out to Laurelwood on Saturday and get involved and see what it's like for yourself. Thank you.